My first review of this bridge praised it as solid but not perfect. Well, this updated version has completely changed my mind. After 2 months of testing, I think it is the perfect bridge for this guitar, and it might just be the perfect bridge for you too. Oh hey, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm on a mission to review every single aftermarket offset bridge. So far, I've reviewed 11 of the 17 different bridges I own, and I'm still chasing down the rest. Normally, once I've reviewed a bridge, I move on and don't make any more content about it. But recently, I've started to disagree with my own conclusions on this one. And I'm just about ready to crown it as the second flawless offset bridge, right alongside the Bensonite. Let's quickly recap what this bridge is, what I liked, what I didn't, and why I've completely changed my mind. Before we get into it, please hit subscribe if you're into Jazzmasters, Jaguars, or Mustangs, or if you're just offset curious. I post new offset content every other week. And if you want to make my day, give this video a like and share your thoughts and experiences with the offset bridge down below. So, in case you missed it, the offset bridge is a Mustang style design with 6 fully anchored brass saddles. The intonation screws are offset for easier adjustment and to make way for the double-sided string grooves to eliminate any unwanted contact between the strings and the bridge base. It's got slimmer outer legs and chunkier inner legs for better rocking, and the components are made with superfine tolerances and have Loctite pre-applied, so no buzzing, sinking, or rattling. While it looks very similar on the surface to the Statrim or the Fender Marr bridge, it's milled from a solid block of 304 stainless steel, just like the Mastery, not bent from sheet metal. And for just £89, it's less than half the price of the Mastery, £30 less than the Fender Marr bridge, and only a couple of quid more expensive than the Statrim, but without the waiting list. Pretty great, right? So what was the problem before? In my original review, I mentioned 2 negatives. Firstly, that the bridge didn't always return to center and had a tendency to fall down and rest against the thimble walls. And secondly, that I couldn't guarantee that the strings wouldn't pop out of the saddles in every possible use case. And at the time, that first one was a real disappointment for me. But then, Jack sent me this Johnny Marr lipstick Jag with the newly revised version of the offset bridge and the nickel-plated saddles, and I've been playing this guitar non-stop for the last 2 months. The bridge has returned to center perfectly every single time and hasn't fallen over once. It's been flawless. So, what's changed? Firstly, the legs have been redesigned. The outer leg post is now a few millimeters shorter, and the inner grubs are now a few millimeters longer, shifting the concentration of the bridge's weight slightly higher. This subtle change in the weight distribution of the bridge seems to have affected the bridge's center of gravity and improved its rocking performance. Jack says that a few millimeters difference shouldn't have any noticeable effect on the performance, but Then again, the bridge legs were only 23mm long to begin with, so even a change of 2mm is a difference of 10%. When we're dealing with such small measurements to begin with, a change of 2mm or 10% could make a significant difference to the rocking performance. The legs are now riveted onto the bridge base for extra stability and topped with a little dust cap as well. It may only be a minor tweak, but I think it's made a major difference. Secondly, the early review units were only available in a 9.5 inch radius, whereas all of my guitars had a 7.25 inch radius. This meant that the unit I reviewed had a flatter radius than my guitar's fretboard, forcing the strings into a mismatch, which could have affected their grip on the saddles or just created some sort of an imbalance. On this guitar, the bridge radius matches the fretboard radius, and it feels much more stable, and the bridge returns to center beautifully. And thirdly, this is a bit of an interesting one. I am one of those super horrible sweat monsters who can only play Elixir strings. In case you didn't know, Elixir strings are coated with Teflon, which is the same material used on your non-stick frying pan. It is a super slick and slippery material, and in fact for a long time it was the slipperiest material on the planet. While it's great for tonal longevity and a really nice slinky feel, it's not so great for friction-based stability. However, this guitar is actually strung up with a set of Ernie balls, and as we've discussed, the bridge has returned to center perfectly every single time I've used a vibrato on this instrument, so the strings could also be part of the equation. And fourthly, after the video, I had loads of players reach out to me, including Jim at Audiomo and Eddie at Totally Wired Guitars, saying that their newer versions of the bridge had been performing perfectly as well, and that they hadn't had any problem with theirs either. So whether it's the leg redesign, the radius mismatch, or the strings, I'm confident that the issue has now been fully resolved. We'll have to see if that still holds up once I go back to Elixirs. The second negative was about the possibility of the low E string popping out of the saddle, even though I could never make it actually happen in real-world testing. Jack suggested that if I couldn't get a string to pop out despite playing my very hardest and using a low bridge height, then it probably wasn't very fair to include it as a real issue. And upon reflection, I think he's probably right. Even at the best of times, I have an exceptionally heavy picking hand, and even putting every ounce of force I possibly could behind my pick, I couldn't get the string to pop out of the saddle while I was actually playing. So if it hasn't been an issue for me, I think it is extremely unlikely to be an issue for any other player. And it still hasn't happened. So I think we can officially cross that one off the list. My ethos has always been to list every single tiny nitpick I can possibly find with a piece of hardware, in the hopes that that will give a potential buyer the best idea as to whether it will suit them and their playing style and their use cases. However, I think I might have gone a little bit overboard nitpicking with that one, so a lesson learned for me there, I guess. So there you go. I hope this follow-up video has been useful if you've been trying to work out whether the offset bridge might be the right bridge upgrade for you. Given that a couple of people have messaged me recently, unsure whether the offset bridge was right for them off the back of my review, I thought it would be a good time to offer a bit more clarity around my long-term experience with the bridge and how much more I'm enjoying it now. It takes an awful lot for me to conclude that a bridge is flawless, but I think I'm just about ready to conclude that with this one, and that puts it right up there with the Bensonite. The offset bridge and the Bensonite are obviously very different bridges with different approaches. This one has a more traditional aesthetic and a more traditional sound than the Bensonite, but both are excellent bridges for different types of player. If you'd be interested in me doing a head-to-head shootout video between the Bensonite and the offset bridge, please let me know in the comment section below. Alright then, well that's everything for today. I hope that's been useful and fun and informative. Until next time, take it easy, look after yourselves, and we'll see each other again soon.